Everything we do is designed to empower someone. We empower farmers to flourish. We empower financial goals to be achieved. We empower healing to be found. I want to invite all of you to join with us in this mission.
Perhaps we say this every year, but is more true today than ever before. There has never been a more exciting time to be part of doTERRA. Around the world, the interest in doTERRA has never been stronger. With your help, we are touching more lives than we ever have. And as we look back to the last few months, we're humbled by the number of people that have turned to doTERRA's products to enhance their personal health and wellness. We are also energized by the number of people that have embraced doTERRA as a way to supplement their personal income during this time of global economic uncertainty. It seems that every month this year has been the best month in the company history, and we don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Let me share a few details to give you a better perspective of what I mean. In North America, in 2019, last year, we shipped about 12 million packages. In the first 6 months of this year, in 2020, we shipped 7 million packages, and we expect to ship more than 15 million this year. In 2019, last year, we sold 5.4 million bottles of oil every month, globally. But we've surpassed that nearly every month this year, with more than 7 million bottles of oil per month now being our new norm. Since global health issues hit all of us early this year, sales of On Guard, Breathe, Eucalyptus, and Purify have increased all over the world, with most of these products up 50% or more, and many more than 100%. And we don't see that trend slowing. Finally, among our global warehouses that are opened in 2019, we are seeing tremendous growth. South Africa and the Philippines are averaging nearly 100% growth, and Colombia is averaging a record of nearly 500% growth since the start of global access orders. We are preparing for explosive growth around the world, driven by an environment and landscape that is changing the way people look at their health, as well as their finances. This new reality is driving sales that are doubling, tripling, and in some cases, quadrupling demand of our products. The growing demand for our pure essential oils, combined with the increase in new wellness advocates, has forced us to look at every aspect of our business. We ask ourselves constantly, what can we do to improve, be more efficient, deliver faster and with fewer errors? We are evaluating every aspect of our operations so we can increase our capacity, reduce errors, reduce delivery times, and maintain an inventory that matches the needs of the business climate. Even before the COVID-19 pandemic, we were well prepared with a year's supply of oils. Today, we are working with growers to further increase capacity, negotiating with suppliers and logistics partners to reduce shortages and improve our delivery times, and we are embracing new technologies that have increased our production and allow us to support even greater demand. Can we talk about On Guard for a minute? My favorite product. Clearly, we had shortages of On Guard earlier this year. However, I want you to know that throughout the growing season this past spring and summer, we worked with our exclusive network of growers to significantly increase our supply of On Guard. As a board, we are committed to never, yes, never, run out of On Guard or even limit oil purchases ever again. We have pulled out every stop to make sure this happens, including investing tens of millions of dollars in additional inventories. Our team has assured me we will never run out anywhere. We'll see, because our growing customer base never ceases to amaze me. On the production side, in our highest months of 2020 so far, we're selling 7 million bottles of oil. In the past few summer months, however, our production rate is higher than 9 million bottles a month as we prepare inventory for what assuredly will be strong fall and winter seasons. We also added an additional production line in August that will increase our output to more than 10 million bottles per month. And we have room in our Utah manufacturing facility for additional production lines that will support more than 12 million bottles per month. In addition, several months ago, we announced the opening of our Ireland manufacturing facility that will allow us to better serve customers across Europe, Eurasia, the Middle East, and Africa. The facility should be fully functioning within the next month or two as we prepare for growth throughout these regions of the world. We also have production in China and Brazil, where sales are soaring, as we work to build regional production capabilities to support our global business. In addition to meeting production demand, we are also enhancing our capabilities to get orders out faster. I'm speaking to you today in Linden, Utah, from our new fulfillment center. This new fulfillment center is located very near our Pleasant Grove headquarters. We officially opened the 310,000 square foot facility in May of 2020, and it is now home to 250 doTERRA employees. This facility has the capacity to fulfill tens of thousands of customer orders daily, and currently acts as a hub to support doTERRA fulfillment centers throughout the world. The technology in this facility is state-of-the-art automation to ensure prompt and accurate order fulfillment. Like our Linden facility, our Texas fulfillment center uses state-of-the-art automation systems that allow us to process orders faster, reducing transit time by a full day for customers while reducing the chance for shipping errors. We are seeing huge growth in the southwestern United States, and this facility allows us to support demand for years to come. Alaska also had record months throughout this year and continues to set the pace for all of our warehouses with 100% of orders fulfilled the day they are received. And since opening in January of 2019, we are processing more than 10,000 orders a month through our Hawaii warehouse, dramatically reducing time to get products to customers living in paradise. We want you to be assured that we are doing all of this with an eye on sustainability and environmental responsibility. You have likely seen a few changes in our packaging in the US and Canada, as well as other markets around the world. In the United States and Canada, our new shipper boxes used in Linden have 40% less cardboard, saving 15.6 million square feet of cardboard every year once that's implemented across all our facilities. We also phased out bubble wrap in all US and Canada fulfillment centers, saving 59 tons of bubble wrap from entering our waste management systems. And we eliminated air pillows as of April of this year, with our United States and Canada centers using paper alternatives that will reduce waste by 30 tons or 18 million air pillows every year, all helping to significantly reduce our global carbon footprint. With our manufacturing and fulfillment centers, we have built a strategic advantage that other essential oil and direct selling companies simply can't match. This advantage is magnified exponentially by our sourcing. We now source more than 170 original oils from over 47 countries. Of our key essential oils, 28 of them now come from multiple regions, which reduces our dependency on one region or source, alleviating concerns over changing weather patterns or logistical challenges. We are also approaching 99% exclusivity in our essential oils due to our continued focus on exclusive contractual relationships with growers, as well as our proprietary formulations. There is so much more that I could share, But is there any doubt that this is the right time to be part of doTERRA? The efforts and lengths that our team go to every day to pursue what's pure, deliver the best essential oils, and support you, our wellness advocates and customers, is unprecedented. It is with humility, yet profound gratitude, that we confidently say we have the best, most dedicated employee force in the world. And I want to thank you for continuing to carry the doTERRA message to millions of people around the world, extending the invitation to join us on our journey of changing the world one drop, one person, and one community at a time. We are excited for our future together. It is now my privilege to welcome one of our brightest and most dedicated employees, the General Manager of Canada, Becca Nixon, to host the remainder of this session. Becca not only guides our Canadian market, but is also involved in our product strategies and so many other initiatives at the company. She has a pure love of essential oils and the impact they can have in our lives and on our health. That love also extends to all of our wellness advocates. We are fortunate to have Becca as a key part of the doTERRA family.
Mental health. A few people probably came to mind when I said those words, but was one of those people you? It can feel selfish to help yourself first, especially when it comes to your mental well-being, but it's something we all need and are striving for. We often compare our lives to everyone else's highlight reels and minimize our own experiences. As Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. Like you, I have many roles. As a single mom of 5 with a busy career, not only am I bringing home the bacon, but I'm cooking it and serving it. And most days it feels like I'm doing it all at the same time. The 2 roles I love most are mother and leader, which allows me the opportunity to impact many lives. But what I have learned through the years is that I can only truly show up for others when I have made sure to show up for myself. Some of the things that have helped me most in finding joy and balance in the midst of chaos have been implementing daily practices and using natural solutions that support getting my mind and emotions to a place of wholeness. Quiet time to recenter and focus while using products like Adaptive and Serenity are absolute must-haves for me. Ultimately, nobody is immune from the stresses of life. Mental wellness affects everyone, young and old. This challenge affects us as individuals, but requires a collective response. So what do? We learn. And when we know better, we do better. This Mind and Mood session is all about empowering you with tools and knowledge and natural solutions to help each of us get to that state of thriving. We are going to learn from experts who have dedicated their lives to this field of mental wellness. Up first, Jessica Travis, a nurse practitioner in the fields of pain medicine and neurology who has focused her career in holistic education. Jessica will teach us what happens in our brains and in our body when negative emotions take control and give us the tools we can use to disrupt these negative patterns.
Our emotional well-being must be a prioritized aspect of our overall health. We are becoming increasingly aware that when we address mental and emotional wellness, we see an increase in our physical health as well. I want to tell you about what happens in the body when we come up against things that influence mental well-being. In order to do that, I've come up with something I call the emotional feedback loop. It's a cycle that illustrates how the body reacts emotionally to sensory input. So, let's break it down, starting with sensory input. Sensory input is basically when we perceive anything through our 5 senses: smell, taste, touch, sight, and sound. When you experience sensory input, your brain sets out to comprehend it, to give it meaning, and to form thoughts about it. Now, if this sensory input is perceived as unpleasant or worse, stressful or frightening, the thoughts created by that perception set off a cascade of neurotransmitters, which immediately activate stress hormones in our body. Now, this would be normal, even a healthy response for a real acute threat. But if these thoughts or perceived stressful conditions go on for long periods of time, something called the HPA axis becomes involved. HPA stands for hypothalamic, pituitary, adrenal. These three organs start talking to each other, and in some cases, revving the engine of our sympathetic nervous system. This creates a chemical cocktail consistent with stress. And once we're biochemically locked in, we tend to dwell on the same stressful thoughts, almost unconsciously, and the whole loop continues. Now, after time, this can really take a toll on us. Cortisol, one of the hormones released as part of the HPA axis, can really create some difficulties if too much of it is released for too long. I'm going to list some difficulties that can come from this. Now, you may not experience all of these, but pay attention to which of these difficulties impacts your life the most. Fatigue, irritability, head tension, intestinal and digestive upset, weight gain, changes in blood sugar and blood pressure, low libido or changes in menstrual cycle, difficulty recovering from exercise, poor sleep, poor concentration. Now, all of these come from an excess of cortisol production. And none of these is something you want to deal with from day to day. So finding ways to take control of that emotional feedback loop is critical. Now, I'm going to say something that you'll want to remember. What begins in the brain does not stay in the brain. We are not compartmentalized beings. Our neurochemistry does not stay neatly contained in our brains. Nothing in our body happens in a vacuum. Our minds and our bodies are a whole, and distress in one will lead to distress in the other. Moods and emotions that are suppressed in the mind will always be expressed in the body. There is overwhelming scientific evidence supporting the idea that your emotion and mood directly affect your physical well-being. There is possibly no better or more obvious way to see this link than with the connection between emotion and physical discomfort. How many times have we felt a negative emotion and within minutes, hours, or days experienced a corresponding reaction in our body, specifically discomfort? My experience as a nurse practitioner sealed my belief in this link when I noticed an incredibly sharp increase in people asking for acute care while experiencing uncontrolled discomfort during the holidays. Well, this is when people are more likely to be stressed about money, feeling lonely, or experiencing loss. All right, we've learned a lot over the past few days about a concept called epigenetics. For a long time, we believed that the hereditary transmission of genetic information was set. But epigenetic research is now showing us otherwise. For example, if your mother was a constant worrier, it's possible that your genes are primed for worrying as well. But on the flip side, by taking control of your own feedback loop and breaking the pattern of worry, you could potentially change how that gene is expressed in your future children. The idea that the choices you make today can positively impact your children's experiences is simply beautiful. Sometimes it's easy to believe that we're helpless when it comes to our emotions, that they just happen to us and we have no way of changing the outcome. But understanding the feedback loop we just discussed and having a grasp on what's really happening in your mind and body enables you to see that there are, in fact, points along this loop where intervention is possible. So we may have more control than we realize on our journey to wellness, which is incredibly empowering. I'm going to give you 2 simple ways to put the brakes on this cycle. The first way to put the brakes on the emotional feedback loop is with supplementation. By regularly taking nutritional supplements, you can alter your biochemistry and set the stage, so to speak, for a healthier gut and brain environment. A healthy gut and a healthy brain go hand in hand, And when you have both, it enables you to be way ahead of the curve when stressful situations arise. If you're not sure where to start with supplementation, you can start with my absolute favorite, the Lifelong Vitality Pack. The second way to interrupt the cycle is to simply smell something. Just as a smell can start the cycle, you can use aroma to interrupt it and redirect your thoughts. You can even train your brain to associate a particular scent with an uplifting thought and use that association to intervene. Let's all try this together. Okay, grab an oil you love. I know you have one right next to you. And put a drop in your palms. I like to use Adaptive or Balance. So you're going to cup your hands over your nose, close your eyes, and breathe in while thinking about things that bring you joy. Isn't that lovely? There is an amazing relationship between our sense of smell and our brain. Did you know that our sense of smell is 1,000 times more powerful than the other 4 senses? Smells can bypass that way station in the brain that usually acts as a gatekeeper deciding what to do with sensory input. Smells go straight to our limbic system. This means that smells and aromas impact us so quickly that we don't have time to think about it. This is where some of the most powerful benefits of essential oils come from, through their aromas and the way they can influence our mental well-being. We can use them to stop our own emotional feedback loop in its tracks and even make a difference in the lives of our children. This is why I'm so grateful for the natural solutions I've learned in doTERRA. I would encourage you to play around with the products doTERRA has to offer, from essential oils to supplementation, to better assist you on your journey to mental wellness.
Now that we understand the emotional feedback loop and how it relates to each of us, we're ready to have Nicole Stevens, our very own Director of Clinical Research, walk us through the science of how essential oils work, nature versus nurture, and why you might have more control over the expression of your DNA than you think.
Nature versus nurture. It's an age-old debate. Let me explain it like this. My kids like to blame me for their curly hair, and I say that's just your DNA. That's nature. But that's the reason I teach you the fine art of a flat iron. That's nurture. Today, I would like to talk to you about the concept of nature versus nurture. We'll discuss how our lifestyle and use of natural products, specifically the adaptive line, can help us change the course of our mental well-being. Before I get into the adaptive products, I want to lay a little bit of groundwork. So let's get back to that idea of nature versus nurture. First, let's talk about DNA. Our DNA is found in nearly every cell in our bodies and contains critical instructions that influence every aspect of our health, including mental well-being. It tells our cells exactly what to do, how long to make our bones, what color to make our hair. DNA is our nature. And just as important as our DNA are the epigenetic influences that affect us every day. Just as a reminder, epigenetics is the study of how and when DNA is expressed without changing the DNA itself. Epigenetics is our nurture. Now that you understand the importance of the relationship between DNA and epigenetics, let's talk about how our sense of smell relates to these concepts. The brain is a very complicated thing, so we won't be diving into too many specifics. I'll give you a high-level overview of how aromatics can influence our emotions, and we'll touch on a few main ideas. The olfactory system, the system that makes smelling possible, is a group of structures made up of several key components. Let's highlight just a few. The olfactory epithelium is special tissue inside the nasal cavity. The cells in this structure are specifically designed to interact with aroma molecules. This is where the molecules of what you're actually smelling are first detected. We also have the olfactory bulb. The olfactory bulb is a neural structure that sends information collected by the olfactory epithelium to the brain. And that's where the limbic system comes in. Our limbic system is made up of structures in the brain that help us regulate emotions, memory, and more. Typically, the aroma comes to the amygdala first, which acts as kind of a switchboard. This is the reason why emotion is so often tied strongly to scent, because the amygdala is where we process our emotions and our primitive reflexes. From the amygdala, signals are sent out multiple other areas of the brain, such as the prefrontal cortex and the hypothalamus. Prefrontal cortex is involved in our behavior and our executive functions, things like decision-making. And the hypothalamus is a control center for our autonomic responses and even hormones. Many other signals are being sent and other brain structures are being activated. But the end result is that we get a systemic effect throughout the body. Because of the olfactory system's direct connection to the brain, our sense of smell can actually influence how our bodies feel and react in certain situations. In other words, epigenetics can be affected by aroma. We'll talk about the power of this in just a moment. Now, keeping in mind that our complex brains are pliable and the expression of our DNA can be positively altered, what are some things we can do to positively support mental health? The foundation of this is in taking good care of our bodies. The best foundation you can build for mental health is to fuel your body with nourishing foods, keep yourself active, get good quality sleep. Once you've got the physical aspects of well-being taken care of, you can focus on keeping your mind healthy. Just as your body's health impacts your mental well-being, your mental health impacts your well-being on a physical level as well. It can even have a strong effect on your DNA itself. Here's what the researchers from the Institute of Neuroendocrinology at the Rockefeller University have to say about it. The brain is a biological organ that changes under acute and chronic stress and directs many systems of the body that are involved in the short and long-term consequences of the daily experiences of living. What does that mean exactly? It means that things like stress can change our brains, which in turn affects our entire body system. Over time, these effects manifest themselves in our body, and some can even be passed along to our children. Contrary to what you might think, the ways in which your genes express themselves doesn't become set in stone once you become an adult. Even in adulthood, your gene expression in your cells continues to change as you have different experiences. For brain cells, this property is something that's referred to as neural plasticity, and the changes in your gene expression can affect your health in either positive or negative ways. So how can you take control of this cycle and encourage positive brain function? This is where the adaptive products come in. This system is an amazing tool to help you manage your stress. These products were formulated using essential oils that have been clinically shown to support a healthy response to stress. These oils were chosen because of the powerful properties and benefits of their chemical constituents. First, I want you to imagine the smell of lavender. It's calming and soothing. This is mainly because of the linalool content found in it. This chemical constituent is also present in magnolia and neroli, which are also oils in the adaptive blend. Next, imagine the smell of wild orange. It's bright and uplifting. This is largely because of the limonene content, which is also abundant in spearmint. Now imagine the smell of rosemary. It's grounding, it's balancing. This is partly because of the eucalyptol content. These are some of the many constituents found in the adaptive blend. All of these chemical constituents combine to help support your body's response to stress. One of the most powerful aspects of the adaptive system is that it provides you with multiple routes of use, and each route has its own unique benefits. When you use the oil aromatically, it allows the scent to tap into the limbic system of your brain, where your emotions are processed. Topical use of adaptive allows you to combine the power of aromatic use with the added benefits of having the oil absorb directly into your skin, enhanced by supporting touch and massage. And finally, taking the adaptive capsules internally enables your body to take advantage of the synergistic combination of botanicals and essential oils, supporting not only your cognitive function, but also your emotional balance. The versatility of these products is incredible. And you don't have to stick with just a single use. Combine different ways of using the product to find what creates the most benefit for you. Whatever kind of support you're looking for in the moment, the adaptive system can be your go-to. It is most certainly mine. Studies done by doTERRA scientists report that the adaptive system can help reduce feelings of anxiety and improve performance in stressful situations. Scientific evidence continues to show that natural products can make a difference in our health and wellness. So what does this all come down to? Well, even though our bodies come with a certain set of genetic instructions, we can often change and optimize the expression of those instructions through our lifestyle. We can do this through having a healthy diet, getting the right amount of sleep, staying active, and managing our stress. Additionally, we can use powerful natural products, such as the adaptive system, to support our mental health through aromatic pathways, to impact our physical well-being, and to provide a systemic benefit to our bodies. Making these simple changes and implementing natural solutions can truly empower us to take control of our health and wellness. We have the ability to use both nature and nurture to help us live a life that is exactly what we want. My hope is that we can all take advantage of the beautiful gifts of the earth to become the best we can be.
It's fascinating how the products in this system synergistically work together, aromatically, topically, and internally to help support our mental well-being. One woman who is a trailblazer in the aromatic use and benefits of essential oils in a clinical setting is Dr. Danielle Daniel. As a doctor of psychology and licensed clinical social worker, we're going to learn firsthand how our environment plays a role in our emotional well-being and how we can use essential oils to support ourselves when moving through trauma.
Virtually everyone experiences trauma at some point in their life. When it comes to mental health and wellness, trauma is a big part of the conversation that many people are having right now. When we don't work through those traumas, they can sometimes develop into further complications. But here's the great news. Essential oils can support us as we manage life's demands. This is something I've studied extensively. In fact, it was the focus of my doctoral research and my dissertation. I've seen essential oils do incredible things, and I can't wait to share those with you. First, however, I think we need to talk about what is trauma. Trauma can be described as a psychological effect caused by a deeply distressing or disturbing incidences from the environment. It can leave someone feeling vulnerable, mistrusting, or even disoriented in their own identity. There are 3 domains traumatic stress can affect: emotional dysregulation, loss of self-integrity, and a change in a person's ability to relate to and maintain healthy relationships with other people. If not addressed, trauma can take root and cause further challenges and difficulties for the individual. I often refer to these results as a deeply rooted emotional distress. Although not everyone who experiences trauma will develop deep and complex emotional distress, there are many ways in which the environmental onset can manifest later on. So let's talk about how trauma continues to affect our lives. A big contributing factor is environmental triggers. An environmental trigger is a situation that mimics the environment of the original traumatic event. So after the initial environmental onset, your environmental triggers can suddenly cause a reaction. When you are exposed to that trigger, it can cause your mind and body to respond as if the trauma was reoccurring right in that moment. For example, if you experienced a trauma because of a car crash, driving in a car or driving in the same area where the crash took place could trigger an emotional upset. The trigger can even be something small. Let's say that the last thing you remembered before the car crash was the sound of your turn signal. Hearing a blinker again could potentially trigger the reaction in your body. So how do essential oils play into this discussion? What I have found is that aromatherapy can help trauma survivors while they are facing difficult triggers in their environment. There are 3 reasons why essential oils can be so useful in these situations. They are easy to use, they work quickly, and they are incredibly accessible. Now let's take a deeper look at each of those reasons. First, essential oils are easy to use. By applying a roller bottle of essential oils on the pulse points, or by inhaling a drop directly from a bottle, you can immediately receive the benefits of the aromatic compounds. Anyone is able to do it when they find themselves in a moment of immediate need, even children. Secondly, essential oils work quickly. When we breathe in essential oils, the volatile aromatic compounds travel through the neural olfactory pathways directly to the limbic system, meaning that we are able to feel the effects almost instantly. And third, essential oils are accessible. Simply having an oil with you in your pocket, in your car, or your bag allows you to have the support that you need. It can create an anchor of safety and help you stay in the present moment when a trigger may onset. This anchor can calm the mind and interrupt the trauma-induced feeling. I received incredibly valuable feedback from participants of my doctoral research who had indications of trauma and used aromatherapy during the study. Their words are so powerful. Listen to what they told me. A military officer said, "I found that the aromatherapy helped me from instantly reacting like I normally would do. I was able to slow down a little bit and respond better." A Navy SEAL stated, "I was able to talk with a stranger about my childhood trauma. I found that it was easier to talk about all this stuff, which I don't normally like to do because it brings up my emotions from trauma, but I was able to pretty easily talk about it without feeling any anxious emotions." Finally, a survivor of sexual assault shared, "It reduced my ruminations. I was able to focus and validate how I felt. I cried, but I felt safe. I believe the oil facilitated that safe space for me to process. I felt comfortable during my bouts of shame and sadness. It doesn't make it disappear, but it definitely brings your focus forward and breaks you from that cycle of negative thoughts." As you can see, emotional aromatherapy has made a huge difference in the lives of so many people. We all have varying experiences with trauma, and emotional aromatherapy truly is one of the best tools you can add in your personal journey to emotional well-being.
Grace is a twin. She's my older twin, and she'll never let anyone forget that. Because she's my oldest, I believe she puts a lot of pressure on herself to be the best. She does not like to show weakness. She does not like to show fault. Whatever she does, she has to be the best at it. Four years ago, Grace started having some stomach issues. Leading up to a swim meet, or even leading up to a paper that was due or a test that was coming up, you could tell that Grace was definitely stressed. We would notice she was pacing, she was bitey at people. She was just not fun-loving Grace.
I just kind of shut down. Just feels like everything's closing in. It makes it hard to eat, sometimes makes it hard to breathe.
I'd been doing some research, and what I realized was her own personal weight of perfectionism has made her anxious. These feelings of stress and anxiousness was really kind of upsetting her stomach. We started using the adaptive line that doTERRA introduced to us in 2019, and honestly, I feel like Grace is able now to grow into who she's meant to be. She has started taking the adaptive capsule, especially a day of a meet, and we've noticed that she is just more even-keeled. She's just a more pleasant Grace. She's able to take and really adapt to what is happening around her.
When I use adaptive, it just makes everything a little calmer, a little smoother. I don't have as much discomfort in my stomach anymore. It makes me feel more open, just easier to be me. A lot of my friends and family have said my personality is coming out more. They can tell I'm happier and just enjoy life more.
It really is like night and day. She just was, for a 10, 11, 12, and 13-year-old, just not living her best. Once adaptive came into her lifestyle and into her wellness routine, we get to thoroughly enjoy Grace. She doesn't have to do things to be the best. She gets to do her best and let it ride at that.
With doTERRA, I feel like I can accomplish anything.
When it comes to essential oils, doTERRA is the world's gold standard for the safest, purest, and most potent. Our supplements are no different. With nearly a decade of industry experience and comprehensive knowledge of physiology and developmental biology, Alex DeBell, our principal nutritional scientist, is here to talk us through the science and research behind what makes adaptive capsules so unique and effective.
Homeostasis. Another more common word for homeostasis is balance. As a scientist, I've spent a lot of time and effort researching how we can stack the deck in our favor to be able to achieve or maintain homeostasis. As a person, however, I'm really looking for how I can achieve and maintain balance. That striving, from both a scientific and a personal perspective, is what led us to develop the Adaptive Calming Blend capsules. From the beginning, we knew that this product would be something special because of the need we were trying to fulfill. We had many discussions about this product. Each of the ingredients, and even the actual delivery system, was deliberately selected for optimal benefit. These powerful, natural ingredients work together for incredible results, including supporting emotional stability and calmness, promoting an elevated mood, and supporting healthy mood and cognitive function. Let's talk a little bit more about the intricate design and conscientious thought process that went into creating the adaptive capsules. When you look at the label for this product, you will notice 4 key active components. Each is deliberate and has a role and a unique place in this formula. The first key component is the essential oil blend: lavender, wild orange, coriander, and fennel. If you are familiar with these 4 oils, you may notice that they are high in 2 primary chemical constituents, linalool and limonene. In addition, if you are familiar with these 2 compounds, you can start to understand the idea behind adaptive and the concepts of homeostasis and balance. Linalool and limonene combine both calming and uplifting essential oil chemistry. This yin and yang of properties gives you help and support as you adapt to the wide variety of circumstances you may face throughout the day. Next on the label, you will notice ahi flower. This plant, whose Latin name is Buglosoides arvensis, grows throughout the United Kingdom. It is quite special as an excellent vegetarian source of omega fatty acids. The fatty acid profile of the plant is unique. No other source of omegas quite fits the profile of ahi flower. Now, these omega fatty acids are incredibly important when we talk about maintaining balance and cognitive homeostasis. Why? Because to achieve both, it is critical that we maintain the structural integrity of the biological membranes of our brain cells with lipids, or organic fatty acids. This is why we chose to include a generous dose of omega fatty acids from ahi flower in this product. Balance means that there is not too much or too little. And that brings me to the third key component of the adaptive capsule formula: a high-quality fermented gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA. This is the primary inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain. It is what your brain relies on to make sure there is not too much or too little when it comes to neurotransmitter stimulation and excitability. GABA, sometimes referred to as the brakes of the brain, helps you maintain a balanced control and avoid excessive excitability or stress. Finally, we have Sclerotium tortuosum. This remarkable plant has an awesome history. Indigenous communities of South Africa have used Sclerotium tortuosum, commonly known as kanna, for centuries. Dutch explorers in the 1600s documented their first experiences using kanna, and the benefits they described from this plant include an elevated mood, relieved anxiety, and a sense of euphoria. One early explorer described kanna as the greatest cheerer of spirits and the noblest restorative in the world. Since then, pharmacological studies have been performed to elucidate the mechanism of action of the mesembrine alkaloids native to this plant. Results demonstrate that kanna extracts act on multiple cognitive pathways. As a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor via 5-hydroxytryptamine receptor, as a phosphodiesterase inhibitor, which has the effect of enhancing cognition, memory, and executive function, as an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor, and as a cytochrome P17A1 inhibitor. It sounds complicated, and it is. But what it means is that these alkaloids have impact on serotonin, acetylcholine, and cortisol. The key point is that these compounds are what help you to maintain balance and homeostasis. We believe that everyone can benefit from the adaptive capsules, and we wanted to make sure that people with food sensitivities could take them. So we used a nice vegetarian, carrageenan-free capsule. We even included antioxidant tocopherols from sunflower to be mindful of those who are sensitive to soy. Along with the capsules, I want to reiterate the incredible synergistic benefits of using the adaptive oil blend as well. This is a wonderful opportunity to not only combine a collection of compounds, but also to use them in complementary routes of delivery and maximize the benefits of each. The adaptive capsules are truly an amazing product. An incredible amount of time, thought, and research has gone into making these an effective and natural solution to help you maintain homeostasis.
One of the most undervalued aspects of our mental health is sleep. In fact, a recent study by the American Psychological Association discovered that an extra 60 to 90 minutes of sleep per night can make you happier. Prioritizing sleep creates a strong foundation for mental wellness. And here to teach us more about sleep and the products that can help us is Dr. Heather Pickett. Here's a fun little fact. Before joining us as the director of Prime Meridian Healthcare, Dr. Pickett worked as a family physician practicing holistic techniques and traditional medicine around the world. And she's also a retired U.S. Air Force colonel.
How did you sleep last night? I slept phenomenally. Sleep has always been recognized as a part of a healthy lifestyle, but in recent years, the impact of the lack of sleep has become much more front and center in modern medicine. Research and studies have reinforced just how critical sleep is for our bodies, and that a lack of sleep is associated with many effects on the body and the brain, many of which can be prevented with good sleep hygiene. To better understand this, we need to know what actually happens during sleep. So let's take a minute and discuss the sleep cycle. There are two main types of sleep: rapid eye movement, or REM, and non-REM sleep. And together they form a sleep cycle you experience every night. Throughout the night, your body goes through phases of lighter and deeper sleep. The time between light and deep sleep is actually very important for your body. It gives your brain a chance to file away those long-term memories and can help with your brain memory recall. Sleep is also a time for your body to repair. All night long, your body's busy, doing work for all systems to keep it going. It's not necessarily the lazy period of inactivity you might have thought. During this period, chemicals that strengthen your immune system also start to circulate in your blood, which is why getting good sleep is so critical to immune support. Interestingly, sleep also affects our hormone levels. While you sleep, levels of growth hormone go up. This is a hormone that assists with hormone regulation and your basal metabolic rate, which can help contribute to maintaining a healthy weight. On a related note, the amount of sleep you get also affects your leptin and ghrelin levels. These are hormones related to your feelings of hunger or fullness. So during sleep, your cortisol level, a stress hormone, also goes down. That's why many people with sleeping problems can have issues with, guess what? Their stress hormones. We're discovering that sleep does all sorts of incredible things for our bodies. So then what happens to your body if you don't get enough sleep? One of the major effects of a lack of quality sleep is weight gain. When your body's deprived of sleep, your metabolism slows down, and that can lead to weight gain and all of the other effects with the hormones we just discussed. Another possible effect can be on your mood. Mood is influenced by many possible factors: stress, society, the speed we live at, or diet. But we know for sure that lack of sleep is a contributing factor. Researchers have compared the effects of sleep deprivation to those of drunk driving. Studies suggest that some regions of a person's brain doze, causing mental lapses, while the rest of the brain is awake and running as usual. When sleep deprived, parts of your brain can be functionally asleep as you go throughout your day. Additionally, recent data suggests that a lack of sleep in teenagers affects their brain development. And this is particularly important because the brain is not fully developed until around the age of 25. So it's obvious that sleep is critical and that a lack of sleep can have serious consequences. So how do you know if you need additional support for your sleep? I want you to ask yourself a question. Have you experienced any of the following? Feeling very sleepy during the day, trouble falling or staying asleep, snoring, briefly stopping breathing, often while you're asleep, uncomfortable feeling in your legs, and the urge to move them? If you relate to any of these, you might want to first consult with your medical provider. These things could be keeping you from experiencing the benefits we discussed earlier. But luckily, there are things you can do and natural products you can use to also help. Start by establishing a schedule. Make sure you wake up and go to sleep at a consistent time each day. Take time to unwind before going to sleep. You can read a book, you can meditate, you can have a cup of chamomile tea, whatever works best for you. Regular exercise can also help, but avoid strenuous exercise close to bedtime. The experts recommend at least 3 hours between really exertional exercise and going to sleep. And of course, you've heard this before, avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine before bedtime. And try to finish eating 2 to 3 hours before turning in. Now, let's talk about your sleeping environment. Keep your sleeping space dark, cool, and comfortable. Use a sound machine to block noises that keep you from falling asleep. And I can't emphasize this next practice enough. Don't watch TV or use the computer in bed. Screens have been shown to interfere with your circadian rhythm and how your brain functions, and you want your mind to associate your bedroom with only sleep. Lastly, you might want to consider using an early morning light when you wake up, or a full spectrum light, to help regulate your sleep schedule, especially if you live in an area where there's a lot of dark. In addition to implementing these healthy habits, there are also natural solutions you can use to support your sleep. First, let's talk about a doTERRA favorite, lavender. There is substantial research out there supporting the fact that when lavender essential oil is taken internally, it supports a good night's sleep. doTERRA Serenity soft gels are another fantastic product. In fact, doTERRA did a small, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trial with Serenity soft gels. It concluded that the soft gels were shown to improve subjective measures of sleep quality. I always recommend using these oils aromatically, topically, and internally so you can access the full benefits throughout the night. So consider diffusing the Serenity oil blend right next to your bed at night along with other sleep-supporting oils, such as frankincense, which crosses the blood-brain barrier, vetiver, ylang-ylang, the Peace Emotional Aromatherapy Blend, petitgrain, or Roman chamomile. When it comes to topical application, I'd recommend applying Serenity to the bottom of the feet and along the spine aspect of the foot, which is related to the body, which is the inner part of the foot. For internal use, take 1 to 2 Serenity soft gels at night, about an hour before bedtime. The components in these soft gels are designed to enhance sleep and to decrease nighttime wakening. And then if you want to go the extra mile, there is good data supporting the use of omega-3 fatty acids for brain health, which in turn can also help your sleep. doTERRA has the XE Omega that's part of our Lifelong Vitality Pack, and that's an incredible omega product. When taken regularly as recommended, XE Omega provides you with the amount of omegas recommended to support brain health. It can be tempting at times to turn to synthetic options when looking for a quick way to support your sleep. But we are so lucky to have these precious natural gifts of the earth at our fingertips. We don't have to turn to synthetic ingredients to support our sleep. Starting today, you can begin to get better, more restful sleep using the tips we learned about and the essential oils you already trust. So tonight, sweet dreams.
We really do normalize not getting enough sleep. When I very first got pregnant, one of the first things to go was my sleep. So my sleep got really disrupted. I kind of thought, well, this will resolve itself when I have my baby. I'm going to be up all night anyways. It'll be fine. And so, I have a baby that's sleeping through the night from, about 6 months on, where I'm still awake for hours and hours in the middle of the night. I just kind of normalized it, like so many people do with sleep. Oh, well, I guess I'm a bad sleeper. I'd had my oils for about 6 months at this point. I kept reading again and again, Serenity is so beautiful for supporting healthy sleep. I thought, well, at this point, I don't have anything to lose. I got the Serenity, I put it in my diffuser, I turned the diffuser on, and I set my alarm, and I fell asleep. At the time I didn't notice it because it happened so quickly, and I woke up when my alarm went off, and it had been almost 3 years since I had slept that long and that well. Always the skeptic. I'm like, it's probably just a coincidence. Just the one night in 3 years that I actually slept through the night also was the night I had Serenity. I'm sure it's not related. I'm sure tomorrow night we'll be back to my old pattern. Except then tomorrow night, then I put the oils in the diffuser again, and I turned on the diffuser, and then I slept. And then the next night I slept, and then the next night I slept. And I managed to get myself back into this beautiful, really healthy, normal sleep routine. And it was at that point that I kind of couldn't deny that this was something really special. When you're in kind of a dark spiral of not sleeping well, you don't really realize how much it impacts the rest of your life. And it really wasn't until I started sleeping again that I realized how hard things were in every area of my life, how much had disintegrated in my marriage, what a short-tempered mom I was. And that was really hard to realize.
Let's see.
Once I started, kind of sleeping again, the biggest things were just feeling like I had the energy to really show up in my life. I had the energy to, start going to the gym, sit down on the floor and play blocks with my little one, go on a date with my husband. Serenity is a favorite of everybody in the family. We put Serenity in her diffuser every night. We have a Serenity roller. Everybody gets it on our feet before bed. It's a really beautiful part of our nighttime routine. So now my life is full. It's rich. I can choose how I show up in it rather than just showing up by default. And that feels really good.
Jessica Travis, Nicole Stevens, Danielle Daniel, Alex DeBell, and Dr. Heather Pickett, thank you. And now onto one of my favorite parts of the day, where we give you the answers to the questions you ask us most. When it comes to managing and supporting your mind and mood, the adaptive systems, serenity, and balance are most likely the heroes you grab first and are without a doubt the products we get the most questions about. Joining me to answer your questions are two of my favorite humans. You already know and love Dr. Brannick Riggs. And also joining us is Rebecca Hinsey, a mental health specialist and best-selling author. She has vast experience with emotional intelligence, family issues, and using natural solutions for mood management. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's dive in. Our first question is all about supplements. When is the best time to take the adaptive capsules, and how many should I take?
Ooh, that is a great question, and I completely understand that there are a lot of supplements that doTERRA offers, and it can be hard to know what to use and when. So for the adaptive capsules, for me, I take them as needed. At nighttime before I go to bed, just for that extra support to relax before I go to sleep, they're just perfect for that. And I also take an adaptive capsule in the morning, especially when I look ahead and I see that I'm going to have a stressful day. And if I feel like it's going to be a particularly demanding day, which, happens, I often take more than one. So for me, when people ask, like, how many should I take, which is a common question, I suggest go to the bottle, which I think you would recommend. Take the one capsule that it suggests is needed and follow the recommendations there. Adaptive is totally safe to take on a daily basis, though. And for me, I take more than one a day, especially at this time of year.
Yeah. I'll start off by saying this is a really common question. And Rebecca, you made some great points there. We suggest taking 1 to 3 capsules every day to get the best results. But adaptive capsules can be used on an as-needed basis. If you're wondering whether you should take adaptive capsules daily or as needed, they can be used both ways. If stress is something you experience regularly, which I think in today's environment we probably all are, then a daily usage would be appropriate. But others may not need to use the capsules daily, but could take them on an as-needed basis. Now, I often get asked the question about children and adaptive capsules. I would say children above the age of 6 that can safely take a capsule can take 1 capsule of adaptive daily, and children above the age of 12 can take it twice daily. One last point on this question. If you're using adaptive capsules while taking medication, you should always consult your doctor. And having a better understanding of what is in the capsules will help with that conversation.
So a follow-up question that we often get is, what is the difference between Serenity, Balance, and Adaptive?
Again, great question, Becca, because all of these product lines are about soothing ourselves. You can soothe yourself through getting rest, feeling grounded, and finding a sense of calm. First, Serenity is about getting rest. The Serenity supplement is formulated with a high presence of linalool from lavender that's in it. We have also added L-theanine, which is a precursor to GABA, which attaches to receptors in the brain, causing a calming feeling. Balance is an amazing oil for grounding. It combines tree and flower oils to help us self-soothe. This blend contains spruce, hoe wood, and frankincense. The combination of these powerful tree oils provide a relaxing aroma and strong grounding benefits, while the flower oils can provide uplifting aromatic benefits. The Balance blend is especially popular for meditation, yoga, and for inner spiritual work. Last, Adaptive is about feeling calm. Adaptive is formulated with a high presence of linalool, which is effective at soothing and uplifting. It also contains oils with limonene, which can promote tranquil feelings. Additionally, we find beta-caryophyllene and carvone, which can help to decrease inflammation and have a soothing effect on the entire body. All of these chemical constituents make Adaptive perfect for helping you find a sense of calmness throughout the day.
Now that we've talked about some of the supplements, how they work, why they're so effective, and how to use them, help us to understand the difference in oil application and its effect on the body.
Oh, that's a great question. There are three main oil applications that we know: aromatically, topically, and internally. And we've learned a lot about the olfactory system today, which helps us to understand why using essential oils aromatically is an easy and effective way for our body to experience the benefits of essential oils. So you can use and get the benefits from diffusing, even if you just unscrew the bottle and take a whiff, which I love, or put it in your hands and breathe in. So I love that we can do that with the 15 milliliter Adaptive. Topical use, though, is a great way to absorb essential oils due to their low molecular weight and lipid solubility. And while you gain the benefits from applying essential oils topically almost anywhere in your body, it's really most effective to work with some of those absorbent areas like the bottoms of your feet, your wrists, or the back of your neck. So I love that. Because essential oils can be a little harsher on the skin, the doTERRA Touch Blend, I love that you pre-diluted that. Love that so much because it can help to minimize the skin sensitivity situation. And of course, internal use starts with our digestive system, which helps to distribute the benefits of essential oils to varying systems of our body, which is amazing. But it's good to know that essential oils, not all of them are meant to be taken internally. And that's why we recommend that you look at our supplement line, which packages a plethora of essential oils that are safe for internal usage, and that can help it to be easy on the body. So we look at three applications: aromatic, topical, internally. And when you're trying to decide which way to use it, which one you use depends on the effect that you're looking for in the body. What type of response are you trying to get from your body? That's why doTERRA has so many different products and so many different formats. It makes perfect sense when you look at it that way. And if you look particularly at the Adaptive system, for example, you can take the essential oils in all three ways. And I love that you've done that. We have the 15 milliliter bottle. We can breathe that in aromatically. We have the touch version. We can roll that on our body and use that topically on our skin. And then we have the supplement. So it's a perfect combination of the three.
So why do people have different experiences with the same oil?
Another part of personal preference involves your past associations. Certain scents may remind you of different memories, experiences, and moments. These can carry potent emotional weight for many people. It's possible that the smell of an oil can remind one person of a loving friend and another of an unpleasant encounter with someone. These associations will greatly alter your reaction to that aroma. Ultimately, essential oils will work differently for different people. It can be helpful to listen to others' experiences, but to know how an essential oil will work for you, the best thing for you to do is just try it.
Thank you, Dr. Riggs. This year's convention has been unlike any other. Although we weren't able to meet together physically, we've loved being able to connect with you virtually as we've talked about the importance of pursuing what's pure. That's part of our DNA. It's part of who we are. We have a special presentation all about the business and how you can join us in this movement starting at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. To get the most out of our time together, here are a couple things you can do. Check out the bonus content and make sure you visit doTERRA Home. All of these sessions have been incredible, and this content is available on demand between now and October 31st, so you can come back and revisit these insights again and again. If you don't have your own login, it's not too late. Visit doTERRA.com to get access. And don't forget to order your Pursue 2020 kit, either through this portal or at doTERRA.com. As a company, we are honored to have a network of wellness advocates actively working to change the world. We see your efforts, we see your goodness, and we know that as a global family, our efforts to pursue what's pure are making a real difference. Now, Dr. Hill has one last message to share with you.
It's finally here. We're at the end of what has been a great privilege enjoying you in your homes and you joining us literally in our home as well. I hope that the event for you has been spectacular. I hope that we've met your expectations. I hope that you're looking to the future as I am with great hope. Now, in this process, we've revisited some of our favorites, our hero products, products that you're familiar with, and we've given you new meaning and new direction associated with them. We'd introduced new programs within doTERRA, all a part of our Healing Hands initiative, Hopeland. We're excited about Hopeland and all of our partners this way. Now, of course, the last 3 days has not been the same as being with you in Salt Lake City. I hope that at some point we have the opportunity for that to happen again. However, the energy that we have between us is not because we are physically together. It's much stronger than that. It's an opportunity for us to expand our knowledge, our experience, and to share that with others. In this event, pursuing the 2020 event has inspired and elevated us collectively. Now, I want to speak for just a moment about this energy that needs to go out to the world. All of us, for one reason or another, have our own purposes in doTERRA. We look for opportunities to share. We look for opportunities to give. We look for opportunities to support. Right from the very beginning, doTERRA has been founded on principles that are driving factors in giving us the ability to change our own lives and the lives of those whom we care most about. One time, I had the opportunity to listen to somebody who described many great and miraculous things. Maybe through this event, you feel like you've had the opportunity to experience great things. Maybe it's been life-changing for you. But the real test of that opportunity will come as you and I begin to share what we know, what we experience. Now, the times that we live in are challenging. None of us expected to be here at this moment. But I have a personal belief that says that when we experience great challenges, there's great potential for outcomes and change. Be a part of that change. Be true to what you know and understand in doTERRA. We also live in a time where there are many people who may feel differently. Maybe their experiences are different than our own. It's okay. We have a great opportunity yet to change the world, to make a difference in people's lives. Personally, I appreciate the way that I have seen people rise up to the occasion that lies before us, including where we are right now, right here in this moment. And it makes me extremely optimistic for the future. After all, pursue is not a passive word. It's a word of action. Pursue more education. Pursue more opportunities to share with others. Pursue the opportunity to make a difference in your communities, your neighborhoods, and even in your own family. We cannot have something as powerful as these oils and keep them to ourselves. Together, I feel like we're stewards of these oils. We all feel that way. Collectively at doTERRA, each single one of us works together in unity in not only the pursuit of what's pure, but in having that expression become something that people all over the world will experience. We are relying on you as you are relying on us. You have our firm commitment in doTERRA. We will do our part. Now, I've said this many times. I wish that we were perfect. We're not. We try to be. We do our very best. And I will commit to you that that will not cease and that will not stop. The things that you have come to trust in doTERRA remain in doTERRA and forever will. And that will happen not just because of our efforts collectively, but because of our efforts collectively, which includes you. We wish for you in the coming months great happiness, great success, that you and your family are happy, that you're safe and that you're protected. As we go out and we do much good in the world, what a privilege it is to be associated with you. On behalf of myself and all of my partners, we want you to know how privileged we are to work with you in this great work of doTERRA. Thank you for joining with us.